strong and free, given armament and shield for eternity. All praise to Yahuwah, His word is our might, precepts so holy, lighting up our night. We tell our children, speak of them true, write them on our hearts in all that we do. Statutes so just, they shape our soul. Following His paths we're made whole. Daily we ponder, nightly we dream. Yahuwah's wisdom like a mighty stream. All praise to Yahuwah, His word is our light. Precepts so holy, lighting up our night. We tell our children, speak of them true, write them on our hearts in all that we do. Statutes so just, they shape our soul. Following His paths we're made whole. Daily we ponder, nightly we dream. Yahuwah's wisdom like a mighty stream. All praise to Yahuwah, His word is our might. Precepts so holy, lighting up our night. We tell our children, speak of them true, write them on our hearts in all that we do. In the law we find our freedom soared. Torah's power we can't ignore. In His commandments we find peace. In Yahuwah's love we never cease. All praise to Yahuwah, His word is our might. Precepts so holy, lighting up our night. We tell our children, speak of them true, write them on our hearts in all that we do. All that we do.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. My name is Jason,
I'm Caden.
I'm Jade.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
and we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel. And we can't thank you guys enough for hanging out with us, being around our little wooden table here out in the middle of the jungles as we praise our Elohim, as we keep His commandments, as we keep His appointed times. And for those who do not know what the appointed times or the commandments are, they are all found in the first 5 books of Scriptures. They are found in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And inside of those books, you'll find about 160, 170 commands that we're about to read through here in just a little bit that are 100% pertinent to your life. They are 100% relative to the era and to the generations that we are in. They are a thing that has never become outdated. They are a thing that has never become expired. And they are a thing that is part of our livelihood in this realm and the realm to come. And if you want to be the chosen people of the Most High, well, the chosen people of the Most High are those who are in covenant with our Creator. Those who have found the ways, the statutes, the laws of our Creator and have applied them to our lives. Those of us who are willing to walk in them. Those of us who are willing to make them part of our family's lives. These are the people that, according to Scriptures, are the chosen people of the Most High. And so it is with that I would like to wish all of you guys a very merry day, a very happy Shabbat. And Cade, will you please open us up in prayer?
Dear Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for once again giving us this Shabbat, once again bringing this family together to dive into your words, to explore your commands, to explore your Son, to explore everything that you have written down here, everything that you have given to us to understand for the future to come, for the past, for the way to life and the way to live. And we ask that we dive into this day and that we are able to see what you have written out. You put the Ruach on our hearts, minds, souls, and eyes. We read your word as we understand these things and as we find what you want us to do and how you want us to live. We thank you for all in Yahshua's name. Amen.
Shalom and amen. And yeah, guys, if you will hit that like button, I hate to be that guy that's out here soliciting for this, but you guys know YouTube that unless there's likes, unless there's some action to it, then it will just kind of sit where it is sitting. So if you guys can give us a thumbs up, I would really appreciate it. Thank you all. Let us get into this. Jaden, will you please read this for us? And guys, this is an incredible command that we are about to hear right here. This is a command, and it's not just hear, O Yisrael, it is hear and obey. The actual word is Shema in Hebrew, and that means that we are to listen, not just listen, then we need to put actions into what we have heard. Jade.
Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children. And shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, when you lie down, when you rise up. And shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house, and on your gates.
Okay, all right. And so, Miss Nicole, will you please greet our brothers and sisters that we have here? And this is for right now, and also for all of you guys in the future that come by and hang out with whatever time it is, whatever day you're keeping your Shabbat. We're happy to have you and happy to have you guys in here listening to this. Miss Nicole.
All right, we have Joanna, Sarah and William, America's Silver Patriot, Jeremy and Callan, Jeannie Not of This World, Razul, Yahushua HaMashiach is my Savior, daughter of Abraham and Jacob, Regina, Richie, Sherry, Rick, and the Grand just popped in. So if I missed anybody, I apologize.
All right, absolutely beautiful greetings to all of you guys out there. Just a beautiful family that we have with all of you guys out there. And Curtis just popped in. Shabbat Shalom, Curtis, to you as well. Okay, so what we're going to go over right now is we're going to go over the greatest things that we can possibly ever go over on this beautiful Shabbat day. And they are things that are never going to be outdated. You will never find anything that is foolish. You'll never ever find something that makes no sense at all. And so as we read through these Torah commands, we read through them every week so that we are able to write them on our hearts, minds, and souls. The more that we read these, the more that you listen, the more that it becomes what you would call muscle memory. This is what this is all about. Because as we are all cruising through these lands that we are in, we run into incidents all the time that we need to have these as frontlets before our eyes. They need to be things that we will not go certain places because it goes against Torah commands. It's that we won't do certain things because it goes against Torah commands. That we will not endanger our family or our neighbors or various things because it goes against Torah commands. In our life that we have, the only thing that we have that matters is our obedience to the laws, statutes, and commandments or not. Based upon our obedience to these laws, statutes, and commandments, our soul is either protected or our soul is not protected. For those that have nailed the laws of our Creator to the cross, which is a very, very foolish thing that comes from the mouths of fools that tell us these things, that is one of these things that is blasphemous, it is a lie, and it is also told by straight up fools. When you look at these people that tell you this, there's nothing else that you can deduce from this except the person that's telling you the laws are no more or dead. That man or woman is a fool. It's better to turn around and not listen to these people at this point. It's nearly impossible to argue or to give scriptures to those who think the laws are nailed to the cross. They are in a state of cult programming. They are in a state of hypnosis, and they will probably most likely never get out of it. But that doesn't stop us from attempting to. And this is why we are always out here. This is why I'm always encouraging everybody to spread the word of the kingdom to come. Spread the word of Elohim. let everybody know that there is a better path and a better way than what we have been come to inherit. And what we have is a lawless society that is based upon Kabbalion rules. And for those that don't understand this, the United States alone has millions and millions of laws between state and federal that most people, innocent people that walk out on a normal day, just you and me, they break. Most people don't realize they break several federal laws every single day by just being regular U.S. citizens. There's that many laws. Now, when we come over to the laws of our Creator, and people are like, "Oh, that's nonsense. That's crazy. That's for the old people. That's the old days of Moshe." The nonsense laws of the United States of America, I can't find any nonsense laws when it comes to the laws of our Creator. It doesn't exist. Every single law has a place and a purpose. And when we write them on our heart, mind, and soul, we become warriors. We become enamored. We become armored up. And we become those who are able to face the demons and the devils in the light of the Torah. So let us get into this right quick and begin. Commandment number 1, in order in which they were listed, chronological order, in the way that we get them in Scriptures from Genesis all the way to Deuteronomy. Commandment number 1 is be fruitful.
Commandment number 2, multiply.
Replenish the earth.
Subdue it. Have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
Your bearing and every tree is for food.
Men and women should build their own families.
Master sin.
Every clean moving thing that lives shall be food for you.
Do not eat the blood.
Walk before me and be perfect.
Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments.
Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover, Pesach.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread, festival of Matzah.
There is one Torah for the stranger and the Hebrew.
Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah.
You shall not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
Keep the Shabbat.
Honor your parents.
Do not kill.
Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal.
Do not make false accusations against your neighbor.
Do not covet anything of your neighbor's.
Do not make an altar from rock that a tool is touched.
Do not go to the altar by the steps.
If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times.
Yahuwah's laws for criminals.
Do not lie with beasts.
No sacrifice to other Elohim.
Do not oppress the stranger, fatherless, or widow.
If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return to him before sunset.
Do not charge your brother interest.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast.
No false report.
Do not follow a multitude of evil.
Do not judge unrighteously against the poor.
Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers.
Take no bribes.
Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger.
Give your land rest in the 7th year.
Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feasts of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk.
Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah.
Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land.
Do not make or use anointing oil on an old person. Do not make or use of perfume on an old person.
Do not eat the fat.
Do what you say you are going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Women's time of separation.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife.
Do not lie with a woman in her uncleanness.
You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
Be Kodesh.
Do not reap the corn of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Do not endanger your neighbor.
Do not hate your brother.
Slow down, guys, and spit it out. Enunciate. Try to keep this as clear as possible.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself.
Do not divert your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool.
Do not lie with a taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery.
Do not round your beard or the corners of your head.
Do not cut yourself for the dead.
Do not get tattoos.
Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult the medium.
Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nations.
Keep the feast, the first fruits, Shavuot, overcount, Pentecost.
Keep the Feast of Trumpets, Yom Teruah.
Keep a feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret.
If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another.
Repay injury for injury.
On the Yobel, the Jubilee year.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who you have trespassed against.
The Torah of being a Nazir.
Wear zizit on the four corners of your garments.
And the laws whoever touches a corpse.
Follow Yahuwah's law of inheritance.
The Torah of keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Guard your soul.
Learn to fear Yahuwah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the laws upon your hand and the frontlets between your eyes.
Write the Torah laws on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah, as the pagans do to their Elohim.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not hearken to the word of the false prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
You should not eat any abominable thing.
You shall give to a stranger clean food that dies of itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give tithe of your increase of seed year by year.
Laws of the end of the 7-year lease.
Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken unto the prophet Yahuwah has chosen.
Prophet test of Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
How to deal with a false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child's the adult portions.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost and you find them, you must return them.
A woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies or eggs, take the babies, but not the mothers.
If you build a new house with a flat roof that has yet to be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money.
The law of divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge.
If you lend your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset, if that was his pledge.
Do not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy.
All right, so let's go back to the daughter of Abraham. Please kindly explain all men can appear to Adonai at this time. It's not exactly possible. It is a command, and it was a command that we have, that if we were in the land per se, or we had the ability to go do and follow through with this command, then it is it's what we are supposed to do. 3 times a year, supposed to meet before our Creator, and but right now you live in a how do I say this? How do I say this properly? You live in a world where the land has been overtaken by those who are not who they say they are, and so they have closed off all of access to that stuff for those who are actually trying to be obedient Torah keepers. And for those who believe that those in this land are the Torah keepers, they have abortion clinics that are open until 11 p.m. at night that you can just go in and have a drive-through abortion. And so if you are looking to identify the people of our Creator, or God's chosen people, well, you would want to look for the people who are keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. So in a proper world, in a world that the men could get to a place that our Creator has said to go to, then we would be keeping these commands. But like right now, it's really, really hard, especially over, starting in 2019, 2020, and all those years, they shut off all sorts of stuff. And we have brothers who actually go over there and try to keep these commandments, but it's not like back in the day, right? It's not like with the people of our Creator that were back in the day when these commandments were down. So this is in the event that you are able to get to one of these appointed places at the appointed time that our Creator has said to, then we should be keeping the very best of the commandments that we have. Yeah, and the land is absolutely polluted. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. You don't need any question marks on it. I will take those question marks and I will put exclamation points on that, because it is absolutely polluted, right? We're not looking to hang out with a group of people that run abortion clinics until 11 p.m. at night, right? That's offering your children up to Moloch, along with a ton of other commandments that we're breaking along the way. Probably adultery things as well, where you end up with people that are going to have your kids killed off at 11 o'clock at night. So yeah, we are in a backwards world, no doubt. So hopefully that, repentance, call upon the name of the Lord to be saved. Okay, let's continue on here. Let's roll. What do we have?
And Quran, do not go back for the forgotten sheep in the field, yet for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies and has no child, you shall take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Tabernacles.
Okay, there we go. Let's see. Please kindly explain how a man can take his brother's wife at this time. Well, you really couldn't per se. I mean, you would be breaking the laws of like a lot of laws. I think in the U.S., I don't think you can have multiple marriages and things of that nature. But what you can do, say for instance, you have a brother and he dies, you can absolutely take in that family. I mean, you do not have to marry this woman. You don't have to do part of it, but you can absolutely take a part of this and be a part of that family to where you help raise that child and help take care of that woman. Again, this particular command was for back in the days when we were walking in a land closer to holiness than what we are right now. And the entire command was built up so that people aren't left behind, so that when somebody dies or something of the sort happens, that you can still establish a family and bring that family up. Now, of course, we live in a completely corrupted world where you really couldn't do that, but I mean, you can absolutely take your brother's wife and family in. You guys can, there's all sorts of stuff that you can do to try to keep this commandment as close as possible, and go. So that is that. I'm reading some comments here. There are communities of polygamy where I live. Yeah, you know, that's the crazy thing is Yahuwah and the Torah 2 channel, the other channel we have. You guys are on the main Yahuwah and the Torah channel. Yahuwah and the Torah 2 has a ton of polygamists. There's a ton of dudes out there, and they will argue tooth and nail, and they're like, look at all the blessings that Jacob had. Look at all the blessings everybody has. And guys, these people don't read their scriptures. If anybody has ever read their scriptures, find me a single polygamist style marriage where everybody was in harmony, where everything looked good, where families were being built up, women were being taken care of, men were being taken care of, children were being taken care of, and everything, right? In the event of Jacob ending up with 4 separate wives, people were being tossed down the well. The brothers were trying to kill each other. Everybody hated each other. You had children that were sleeping with the mothers of the other people. The entire situation, there were no blessings to this at all. It was horrible. In fact, you had the 2 main women that were Jacob's. They were always contentious. They were always not very happy. And guys, our job is to make our spouses content. Our job is to make our families content. When you're out there whoring yourself out with a whole bunch of different women, you're like, well, the guys like Jacob did it. You're not Jacob. You're not back in the days. You guys aren't having a set of marauders that are going to come by and wipe out your entire family because you don't have enough people to defend it. Those are the kinds of situations that we had. And even King David. King David was an absolute horrible warmonger and was a filthy guy that was doing evil stuff. So people that are sitting here saying, oh, polygamy is all good. You're right. There is no Torah command against it, but it is something that is not going to breed a healthy family. And if you're just sitting out there just, oh, I want to collect like 3 wives. I want to see if I can make this happen. Try it with 1. Try to be the very best man that you can be and try to raise one single family that is Yah observant and Torah based and see if you can find some happiness there before you try to split things into something that is not normal. And I know that makes a lot of people real angry because I'm not sitting here saying, oh yeah, you should all get like 15 wives. It sounds like a great idea. Guys, it's tough enough with 1 wife. It's tough enough raising 1 family. It's tough enough to be part of 1 family and do it right, let alone trying to get multiple wives and screwing the entire thing up and then having a whole bunch of divorces, right? That's what this is all about.
And look how Solomon turned out.
Yes.
He saw what his dad did and he decided he was going to do the same thing.
And David was horrible. David went and had a man killed. He lied, he deceived, he ran ruses, and had a guy murdered just so he could get a wife. And then they have a kid that dies, right? That murder of that child was on him. When Yah killed that kid off, that was David's fault. This is not the hand of Yah. This was David's doing on this. So guys, we need to be the very best people that we can be in our marriage and keep our eyes on the same side of the fence. This whole polygamist world that we are looking into, this is wacky. It's really, really wacky. And maybe somebody out there can send me a picture of one single family that has made it when you have 3 wives or 2 wives or something of the sort. I would love to sit and interview both those women. I would love to interview that entire little tribe, and I bet you I can find some very major problems inside of this entire thing that would not be there if we weren't trying to attempt polygamy in this world that we are in right now. Continuing on. All right. Sorry, didn't mean to get off in the weeds by that, but I there's polygamists all over, and I do not agree with this at all. Okay, here we are into the book of Numbers. Jade, will you please give us a quick breakdown of exactly what we got going on there?
Yeah, so we are numbering people. We are moving around towns and moving around. We've gone down the mountain for a while. We have numbered our armies and our Levites. And last week, Moshe took a second wife, which you can see how that went down. Miriam and Aaron both didn't like that. And they spoke out against him, and Miriam broke out in leprosy. Yah punished her for speaking out against Moshe like that. And Moshe had to beg Yahuwah for her forgiveness to heal her. And after that 7 days, she was healed. And they moved on. So they were able to actually move once she was re-entered the camp. They wouldn't move without her. So
yeah. Okay, so we'll get on with that. Jeremy says polygamy is not cool. I totally agree. And then daughter of Abraham says appreciate that. I've heard ministers defend polygamy. The Torah community is ridden full of perverse people that take this and they will make it whatever they want into the whatever perverse crap that they are into. And it's not right, guys. It is not right. It was for a time long, long ago. Our Creator created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Eve and Stephanie, right? There was no such thing. It was just 2 people, and the bonding of a man and a woman is a perfect union of flesh. That's the way it is. If you're trying to bond a man and 2 women together, you're gonna it's not right. It's not how we were supposed to be designed. None of this. So for those that are that yell at me because I don't agree with their what I see as a wickedness inside of family bonding. And that's what I'm all about, guys. I am all about trying to keep your families together in a world where the devil wants no families. He wants no loyalty. He wants everybody in bed with everybody else, and all of this evil all around us, destroying our lives, our kids, and not even we're not even protecting our soul, right? So there's all sorts of stuff about this. You will never find me defending polygamy ever. And to anybody from these real important Torah channels, and I know all of you guys out there, like the bigger channels, everybody's all down with the multiple marriages and telling everybody it's all cool, and I don't believe it's cool, and I will defend that till I'm done. Okay, Numbers 13, here we go. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the children of Yisrael. Send 1 man from each tribe of their fathers, every one a leader among them. And by the command of Yahuwah, Moshe sent them from the wilderness of Paran, all of them men who were heads of the children of Yisrael. And these were their names. From the tribe of Reuben, Shammua, son of Zakur. From the tribe of Shimon, Shaphat, son of Kori. From the tribe of Yehuda, Caleb, son of Yefunah. From the tribe of Yissachar, Yigel, son of Yosef. From the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshea, son of Nun. From the tribe of Benjamin, Palti, son of Raphu. From the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel, son of Soreh. From the tribe of Joseph, from the tribe of Manasseh, Gadi, son of Suseh. From the tribe of Dan, Amniel, son of Gimliel. From the tribe of Asher, Shether, son of Mikiel. From the tribe of Naphtali, Nakvi, son of Wasi. From the tribe of Gad, Guel, son of Maki. These were the names of the men whom Moshe sent to spy out the land, and Moshe called Hoshea, the son of Nun, Yahoshua. Okay, why is this important, gentlemen, that we have names and people? Why do we get this right here? Why was this important?
The part of the record book so that we know what tribes they're from.
Hold on, I'm reading chat stuff here. What'd you say on that?
because so we know where they're from and we know who these people are.
Yeah, so we have the lineage. It gives you self-control. So is it a sin if the brother and his wife don't want to have the brother marry his descendant brother's wife to bring a child? So here's the thing, is we have certain things inside of scriptures that our Messiah has told us. One of them is give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. What does that mean exactly? Well, that means all of us are in captivity. All of us are under the hand of the man that is not the man of Yahuwah, right? Every single one of us have all these governments, we have all these regulations, all these rules that we all fall under. Now, if you are to raise up your brother's son and you feel that you have to be married to do this, it is a conflict, right? Because you are going to end up probably in prison because we are falling under Caesar's laws. And so this is a difficult question. The question is it a sin if the brother and his wife don't want to have the brother marry his deceased brother's wife? Technically, under the hand of Yahuwah, it would be a sin. But as we are in the later days in captivity, if we don't do it, or if we do something of this and we end up in prison and all of the people that we are supposed to protect all fall into another form of captivity, whether it be poverty, whether it be the kids go to jail, the something horrible happens. This is all ripple effects of the things that we have done. And we know from the books like the Book of Nazarene, the Khalidi, that every single thing we do, whether it be good or bad, like a pebble in a calm lake, those ripples that go out, whether it be decades or days later, we will be responsible for the stuff that it happens. And so we have to be wise in everything that we do. And so we are 6,000 years past the date of creation. We are 4,000 years past the days when these commands were being delivered. And there's an absolute reason for all of these, because back in the days, if you did not bring up your wife and the son when your brother died, this woman and her son would have far less abilities in their lives than the rest of it. The whole point is to make a community in Yisrael as fluent as possible in a functional standpoint. And that's how it was, right? You wouldn't leave widows with their kids and couldn't help them, right? You would go in and you would help. It's not about having sex with your brother's wife. It's about taking out your wallet and about raising them up and making sure that the money is going to where this kid or the daughters in this family, they're not having to go whore themselves out or having to do other stuff because there's no man in the family that's sitting there doing it. All of these things have to do with the society that we have in the back. So I hope I answered that. Yeah, and hopefully none of us will be put in that position. All right, continuing on. Anyone have anything else? Did I miss anything? Okay. 17. Okay. And Moshe sent them to spy out the land of Canaan and said to them, go up here into the Negev and go up in the mountains and see what the land is like and the people who dwell in it, whether strong or weak, whether few or many, and whether the land they dwell in is it good or evil, where the cities they inhabit are camps or strongholds, and whether the land is rich or poor, and whether there are forests there or not. And you shall be strong and bring some of the fruit of the land. Now the time was of the season of the first fruits of grapes. Okay, now what are the instructions here? What is Moshe wanting to get information back?
He wants to know everything about the land.
Yeah.
He wants to know absolutely everything, whether it's strong, how the people are, what their land looks like, so they know how to plan for this.
Yeah, this is the first time that you've ever gone into another country and you didn't know exactly what is going on. Are these people, they live in tents? Are they in fortified things? All of this information is exactly what a military leader, which Moshe was. Moshe was one of the greatest military leaders of all, under the hand of Yah, right? Obviously, Yah was the one that put everybody in 50s and 100s and made all this stuff amazing. But, Moshe was a military man. So continuing on, 21. So they went up and spied out the land from the wilderness of Zin as far as Rekov, near the entrance of Kamath. And they went up through the Negev and came to Kebron. And Akimah, Sheshai, and Talmai, the descendants of Anak, were there. Now Kebron had been built 7 years before Zoan in Mitzrayim. Now what are we dealing with the Anak? What are we dealing with these people?
Those are the giants.
Giants. And so we have a whole bunch of giants that are out there. And a lot of people, I argue with people all the time, and the word, I guess, argue isn't the right thing, but I will discuss with a lot of people the Creator and His ways. Now, one of the people, most people don't understand why there was ever a flood to begin with. And most people don't realize how it was that the entire world was able to be wiped off, but yet here we are talking about the descendants of the Anak. There were definitely giants after the flood, and a lot of people don't get that. We didn't get that until we actually read it in the Apocrypha, how that was even possible. How was that even possible, gents? You guys remember? You guys remember? Tell me, Mystical.
That's Ham's wife.
Yeah, Ham's wife was not Ham's wife. It was Noah's wife. Noah's wife.
No.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
right. But we also had. This is the point. Let me know when you guys get this. Noah also had to marry. There's a chick right before we got on, right?
That's right.
Noah's wife, the partial wife that he got on there, wasn't full human. It had a little bit of the giant DNA, and that is the one that Noah had to marry, and he did not want to marry her, but he married her regardless. And because of that, we have Cam, who came out there, and the descendants of Cam were the giants. They came along with it. So continuing on, 23, and they came to the Wadi Eskol and cut down from there a branch with one cluster of grapes, and they bore it between two of them on a pole, also of the pomegranates and of the figs. The place was called the Wadi Eshkol because of the cluster which the men of Yisrael cut down from there. And they returned from spying out the land after 40 days. And they went and came to Moshe and Aaron and all the congregation of the children of Yisrael in the wilderness of Paran at Kadesh. And they brought back word to them and to all the congregation and showed them the fruit of the land. And they reported to him and said, "We went to the land where you sent us, and truly it flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. But the people who dwell in the land are very strong, and the cities are walled, very great. And we saw the descendants of the Anak there too." Okay, now these guys are going to scare the heck out of everybody, right? Everybody was scared of the giants. The giants were always evil. From the days of the Watchers to where the Watchers mingled with the women, the human women, and then you had the very first set of the giants that came out of there. You had the Nephilim, the Naphilim, and the Eliud. You ended up with 3 different generations of giants from the Watchers, and every single generation got bigger, got stronger, and was more violent, until the fact that all the giants were consuming the humans as well, at which point our Creator says, I got to get rid of everything. We got to do a reset right here. So these guys came back, and these giants are there, and these guys are scared to death. 29. The Amalekites dwell in the land of the Negev, while the Kittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites dwell in the mountains, and the Canaanites dwell by the sea and along the banks of the Yarden. And Caleb silenced the people before Moshe and said, "Let us go up at once and take possession, for we are certainly able to overcome it." But the men who had gone up with him said, "We are not able to go up against the people, for they are stronger than we." And they gave the children of Yisrael an evil report of the land which they had spied out, saying, "The land through which we have gone as spies is a land eating up its inhabitants. And all the people whom we saw in it are men of great size. And we saw there the Nephilim, sons of the Anak, of the Nephilim. And we were like grasshoppers in our own eyes, and so we were in their eyes." Huge stuff. A lot of stuff that's going on right here. Let me read chat as we go through this. Anything over here? So, daughter of Abraham, according to the scriptures, this gal that Noah married was loved in the eyes of Yah. Like she may have come from a bad lineage. She may have come from a corrupted DNA, but she was still favored in the eyes of Yah. And it's very, very, it's a great story. It's a really great story. And you don't know, unless you actually know that story, there's nothing else, right? There's some Judaism stories where one of the giants got on top of the boat of Noah's and was rodeoing the thing, right? And that didn't make any sense. But then you get to the actual real Apocrypha where it talks about this, and it definitely does make sense. And so he didn't want to marry her. That was the big thing. He was not comfortable with any of this at all. Let's see. I missed that part about Noah being forced to marry wife. This is not in Jasher. That is actually in. That's not in Jasher, is it? That is in.
I don't remember which one it's in.
It's the I think it's the Testament of Abraham. There's one of them. It's in. I don't know which one it is. We'll have to look that up for you guys and see if we can find it before the end of this. Okay, never read the book of Jasher. Jasher is a great book. So is Jubilees. I like them all. I know somebody's hooked on one thing, somebody's hooked on the other. Some people don't like one certain word or one certain testimony. But guys, when you look at the book of Jasher, Jasher is absolutely huge. It is a monstrous book, probably the largest book of anything that is out there. And there are so many details. So people get hooked up on one line or something of the sort. They're like, well, this doesn't account with all the other accounts that we have. Guys, here's the bottom line, is if we are reading something that is telling us that we should drink blood or go against the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator, that's a red flag. We don't have anything like that in Jasher. We don't have anything like that in Jubilees. It is always the same theme and is always the same concept. If you will obey the voice and the words of our Creator Most High, Yahuwah, Elohim Most High, then He will be our Elohim and we will be His people. That's just what it is. From the beginning of the book to the end of the book, spoiler alert, that's what this is all about. The Christians do not have this right. It is complete, it's mess. Okay, let me look through chat real quick.
Richie James says, is fasting on Shabbat truly forbidden like it states in Jubilees?
Okay, so here, let's take a quick look at this. When we're talking, see, and this is the thing, is people get hooked up into Jubilees, and it does say that you're not supposed to fast on a Shabbat. But what people don't understand is it's not talking about our seventh-day Shabbat. It's what is this talking about? Is this talking about a feast day of our Creator that is a high Shabbat, right? We have high Shabbats that are actually feast days. And when we're called to a feast, it's called a hag. When we are called to the feast, we are called to feast. We're not called to fast. So if during one of the appointed times that is on a high Shabbat, you decide you're going to fast, that's not a good idea, right? We have times that we can fast and times we can't fast. So in the book of Jasher, or is it either Jubilees or Jasher? Jubilees, it's not talking about a seventh-day Shabbat fasting, because we know Messiah did 40-day increments. We know that Moshe did 40-day increments, and we know of a lot of times where other prophets and things have fasted for a very long time, which have gone over the seventh day. So we have to make sure that what it's talking about is what it's really talking about, and what it is talking about is it's talking about an appointed time during the course of the year of our Creator's appointed times where we're supposed to feast, and if you decide you're going to fast, that's wrong. Okay. Yeah, and there's different things, guys. In all of the Apocrypha, people die a little bit differently. You have different accounts of how Jacob dies. You have different accounts of how different. There's a lot of different stories. When we come down to it, you're not always going to get. In fact, in the regular scriptures, you have different accounts of different things, right? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We have a different account of the same kind of thing. Not everybody is writing this stuff down right. But if somebody isn't out having us break the commandments based upon a detail of history that we have, then we should look at this and consider the history at least valid, or at least this point, right? If we don't know how Cain died, there's a lot of different, there's probably 4 or 5 different ways inside of all the scriptures together that Cain dies. Several different ways Esau dies. A couple different ways Nimrod dies, right? What is it? We don't know. But what we do know is that our Torah and the things that we're supposed to do never changes. So it doesn't matter if a detail is out or it doesn't make any sense. That's not salvation. That's the scribes. The scribes have messed up. Not everybody scribes this stuff up 100% right. But as long as the bottom line of keeping the commandments of our Creator and having the faith of our Messiah is the basis of it, then let's just take it as notes. Take it as history. Look at it, and maybe one day when we can talk to Messiah, we can talk to Jacob, we can talk to all these people, we can ask them, hey, we got different accounts. You know, when we talk to Abel, how did Cain die? Or some of these other people, go talk to Adam, right? Adam would know. Someday we're going to be able to figure this stuff out. So, continuing on, reading through, you guys have me busy in the chat here, which is good. Some could just be human error. Yeah, there's definitely human error involved in it. There's also lying scribes. Where is that in Jubilees? I think it's the very last chapter. Isn't it the very last chapter? Like the last 2 chapters, that is where everybody gets busted up. There's a There's a thing inside of Jubilees that ticks everybody off. We've lost people on this Torah commands because it says not to have sex on Shabbat.
Daughter of Abraham was wondering about that.
Is she saying that? Okay. And so that's one of these things that we have these people that obviously are enjoying their Shabbat days, and they got really, really mad. In fact, we had people here for a very, very, very long time, and that was their biggest thing, is that we spoke about this. And do we have anything in Torah that says not to have sex on Shabbat? Well, no, but we also know that the sexual encounter makes us unclean. Do we want to come before our Creator on a Shabbat, on the day of rest, being unclean? It can make a lot of sense, right? When we have an emission of semen, we're supposed to go outside of the city gates. We're supposed to go out into, we need to come before our Creator clean. We need to have our hands clean, our minds clean, and if we're sitting here doing what we want to do on a Shabbat, that's not our Creator's day. And that was the big argument with this couple that used to be here for a very, very long time, and then decided that this was all a bunch of malarkey because they couldn't have sex on Shabbat. So we haven't seen them ever since. Continuing on, yeah, Jeremy says we should be focused on Yahuwah as well, right? This isn't a day of pleasure. This isn't a day of any of this stuff. This is a day of rest. And it's a day, I mean, you got 6 other days, right? You got 6 days to make this happen. You know, if we're having to roll this out on the Shabbat, it's what's going on here? Okay, that's definitely in the weeds. Gentlemen, how you guys doing?
Great.
Everyone good?
Yeah.
You're learning a lot of stuff today, aren't you?
I was ignoring most of it, trying to find the.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
Where
The
is it?
Writings of Abraham, chapter 12.
Okay.
Now Noah had taken a wife of the seed of Cain, and she was a righteous woman. Nevertheless, the curse remained with her, according to the word of Elohim.
Okay.
And it's Nama, the daughter of Lamech, but the bad Lamech, the one who killed Cain and Tubal-Cain.
Okay, so there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so there we go. Now, before we go too far in the weeds, guys, keep them rolling. Somebody, Jane, tell me, Mark, we're in the book of Mark.
We are in the latter days of Yehoshua's teaching, his ministry, what he does on his life. And last week, it was a big prophecy, right? He had prophecies. He wrote it on a colt that no one had ever written on before, which was a miracle. People were laying down their garments and the palm tree leaves, and they're saying, Hoshiana, Hoshiana, son of David, and they were excited. They thought this guy was going to free them from Rome. They're ready for this dude to be their savior and get them out of captivity from Rome. And, well, he didn't do that, so they are not doing too great.
Okay, so here we are, guys. We are walking amongst our Messiah, and, you know, our Messiah is you know, for those who do not know, the kingdom to come is based upon the leadership of our Messiah. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John is an example of the walking of our Messiah in a physical form that we can take a lot of notes on. And what we learn about our Messiah's walk is that he is walking, number one, in the name of his Father. He is not his father. He is doing the will of his Father, not his own will. And these are all words in scriptures that I'm simply repeating. He very much says he's not the Father. He very much says he's not doing his will. When he's in the Garden of Gethsemane, he's begging his dad not to make him have to do what he was about to do. And so, guys, this is a very important reading that we have when we deal with our Messiah, because he's our president. The president of the kingdom to come is Messiah. So starting off, Mark 12. And he began to speak to them in parables. A man planted a vineyard and put a hedge around it, and dug a vat for the winepress, and built a watchtower, and let it out to the farmers, and went away. And in due season he sent a servant to the farmers to receive some of the fruit of the vineyard from the farmers. And they seized and beat him and sent him away empty-handed. All right, here we go. What just happened here, fellas?
So this dude shows up to go do what his boss sent him to do. I'm gonna go pick some of the produce out from my farm that I'm letting these guys farm on. And he comes back beaten, and he completely tossed him out.
Yeah, so somebody goes and they buy a piece of land, and they put all the money into it, and they put somebody to equip it and says, hey, you give me a little bit of it. Now, my stepdad, he was in a system like this. He had what they called, it was a share farming. And he basically, he had an uncle, and he was like super, super old, but he let him basically have the farm, and he would run the farm, and then at the end of the year, he would take like an eighth of it, right? Everything that came in, this old timer didn't have to go out to the farm. He didn't have to do anything. He didn't even have to water nothing. Every single year, because my stepdad was farming this, he went and got a cut. Now imagine this, if my stepdad's uncle would have come to get his eighth percent of the farm, and they beat him senseless, right? That's what we're getting right here. This guy that went to come get this was in the will of the employer to come and do this for him. And again, he sent them another servant, and throwing stones, they wounded him in the head, and having insulted, sent him away. And again, he sent another, and they killed him, and many others, beating some and killing some. He had one more son, his beloved. He sent him last of all, saying, they shall respect my son. But those farmers said among themselves, this is the heir. Come, let us kill him, and the inheritance shall be ours. So they took and killed him and threw him out of the vineyard. Okay, now this is, for what everybody knows, this is the parable of the vineyard. And this is the parable of the vineyard, not that parable of the vineyard. And this is, tell me about this, boys. What's happening here?
So this guy sends all these people there, and they keep getting beaten and kicked out. And at the end, he decides, you know what, I'm going to send my son because they're going to respect my son. And they did the worst to him. They killed this dude, tossed him out, and decided they were going to try to take the inheritance for themselves.
Yeah, and so everybody they sent, everybody that went, they decided they were going to beat him, and even to the point of the son. Now, obviously, for those of us who study scriptures, this is the story of our Messiah. This is what our Creator has done. He sent everybody. He sent the prophets. He sent all the prophets, and everybody got killed. Isaiah got chopped in half with a wood saw. They're always killing the prophets. Everybody that's speaking on behalf of Elohim usually always gets smoted. And the thing was, this is an interesting prophecy, because for us, this makes 100%, we know what happens, right? When these guys were being talked to right here, Messiah had not been killed, right? These guys did not quite understand the entire prospect that the Messiah wanted and was talking about, but this is what was just about to happen to him. Continuing on, 8. So they took and killed him and threw him out of the vineyard. What then shall the owner of the vineyard do? He shall come and destroy the farmers and give the vineyard to others. Have you not read the scripture? The stone which the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone. And there's prophecy right there. That's all in quotes. This was from Yahuwah, and it is marvelous in our eyes. And they were seeking to seize him, but feared the crowd, for they knew he had spoken the parable against them. And leaving him, they went away. And again, this is our Messiah doing what Messiah does, and Messiah is not there to tickle everybody's ear, right? He's not there to become a popular dude. He's there to become the dude. And this is what he's doing. He's leaving us with an understanding of what's happening. And he's there. He made a lot of people mad. He was always out ticking people off. That's the thing about our Messiah, is he was okay having everybody at odds with him, which is amazing. And that should be something for us, because a lot of us get persecuted day after day, moment after moment, when we're trying to fish for men, where we're trying to teach others out there. We get a lot of rejection. I get a lot of rejection in the prison system. A lot of guys don't want to hear it. We sent out 25 emails to those on death row in Arkansas, and I think, and that was after sending them an extra stamp and the commands, 2 of them. It costs about, I think, $1.50 to send out 25 of them, and I think less than 5 or 6 have actually responded. Everybody else just kept the stamps, deleted the emails, and I'll probably never ever hear from those guys again. So, and then some of the guys that I do, they'll write back and they want to battle it out, right? Because they're hardcore Catholics, and they're not cool with the laws of our Creator and all this jive. So continuing on, rejection is all good. 13. And they sent to him some of the Pharisees and the Herodians to catch him in a word. And when they came, they said to him, Teacher, we know that you are true, and it does not concern you about anyone, for you are not partial to any, but teach the way of Elohim in truth. Is it right to pay taxes to Kaiser or not? Should we pay, or should we not pay? And he, knowing their hypocrisy, said to them, Why do you try me? Bring me a piece of silver to look at. And they brought it. And he said to them, Whose likeness and inscription is this? And they said to him, Kaiser's. So Yahushua said to them, Give to Kaiser what is Kaiser's, and to Elohim what is Elohim's. And they marveled at him. So very important understanding here. A lot of us are in the same situation, right? A lot of, especially in North America, it's real easy to get on the wrong side of the tax man And the tax man of North America, for anybody who don't know, there's like 70,000 of them toting guns coming to get their tax money. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the States, but what Messiah says here is essentially give to your government what is your government's, right? And what is Elohim's to Elohim's. Okay, continuing on. Where is the book of Abraham? The book of Abraham is in Yah Scriptures. You take a look at it. It's in the Apocrypha. It's all over the place. Okay, 18. And Sadducees, who say there is no resurrection, came to him. And they asked him, saying, Teacher, Moshe wrote to us that if a brother or anyone dies and leaves his wife behind and leaves no children, his brother should take his wife and raise up offspring for his brothers. Whoa, this is crazy. We just got into this, right?
What a chapter.
What a chapter. We just led right into this. Okay, so continuing on, there were 7 brothers, and the first took a wife and died, leaving no offspring. And the second took her, and he died, leaving behind no offspring. And the third likewise. And the 7 left no offspring. Last of all, the woman died too. In the resurrection, when they rise, whose wife shall she be? For the 7 had her as wife. And Yahushua answered, said to them, Is this not why you go astray, because you do not know the Scriptures, nor the power of Elohim? For when they rise from the dead, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are as messengers in the Shamayim. Okay, this is something we should all discuss, because I grew up thinking there was marriages in the heaven, or whatever you want to call it. That is something that is very, very interesting, right? So we are talking about a woman who had 7 husbands, and this was a woman they used as a story to try to trick our Creator, the Creator's Son, and he didn't get tricked by this, because he just brought out scriptures, basic scriptures that we hear before, that we have heard before, that there is no marriage, right? Our understanding of man and woman isn't the same as it is in the Shamayim. Now, this is a lot of cause for a lot of people concerned, and it is something for my wife and I, when we finally came to the understanding that it really is till death do us part in this realm, and whatever we are in the realm to come isn't what we are here. It's kind of sad, right? It's kind of one of these things that my wife is the love of my life. I want to ride with her till forever, and I never want to lose her regardless. But this doesn't say that we're not hanging out. This doesn't say that we're not family. This just says that in the Shamayim, it's not like the marriage that we know in the one unity. So there's going to be a lot of different understanding in the Shamayim. Let's continue on.
The daughter of Abraham was wondering, is Mark 12 based on Sarah in the book of Tobit concerning the woman with 7 husbands? I don't think so, because she didn't die in Tobit.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, she did not die. Yeah, the Sefer is a horrible translation. It is probably the worst translation that you will ever find. Dr. Stephen Pidgeon is definitely working for the alternative side. I've talked to him many times. What he says is there's an overzealous translator that went crazy, and we used to teach from the Sefer for years and years and years, up until they did an update in their digital version of it that basically said Yahuwah and Yahushua are the exact same individuals, and they jacked up a word. And when I brought it to Stephen Pidgeon, he's like, well, overzealous translators. I'm like, well, I've sent probably thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of people to buy your book and buy your thing. When is it going to be fixed? And they never ever fixed it. He basically says that's the way it's going to be. And so they went and they altered the word of our Creator from what it was, and they put in all of this Trinitarian based garbage, and it's a disaster. It is very, very, very sad. I would never ever use the Sefer again. I recommend everybody get rid of it. There's even going to the king over the Sefer based upon that. The Sefer literally swapped words out, right? They literally swapped words out. And you can look on Yahoo and the Torah. If you look for the word Sefer, I've exposed them over and over and over. There's probably 25 different verses I've shown you guys that they completely corrupted. And when you corrupt this, you walk in with all these people that are already Trinitarian based. They've already had the cult of satanic programming. And so they're like, well, this must be it. And it's not it. It is very, very, very important that when we understand Bible, that our Creator is one, His Son is one. They are not the same individuals. Very, very important.
what's
What is the best Bible to read from? Well, you're looking at it right here. It's called Yah Scriptures, the greatest English translation that you will ever find, and it's free of charge. You guys, what we're looking at right here, if you guys have an Android device, you can download this app. It is free, absolutely free of charge. All 103 books are absolutely free of charge. We also have the PDFs. They're 100% free of charge. The eSword modules are 100% free of charge. And we have a giant blue book. So if you guys fall in love with the Yah Scriptures translation, there's a giant blue book that we are out ministering to our brothers and sisters in chains because of it. And so there you go, right there is the link to this. Okay, so continuing on, there is no marriage in the kingdom to come. Kind of a bummer for me, but I'm sure it's going to be way better when we actually figure it out. One of the verses are already corrupted. Jeremiah speaks of. Well, I don't know about Stephen Pidgeon corrupted them. They weren't always corrupted. That's the thing. We used to read from them all the time, over and over and over, up until he made a change to his app that basically downloaded all of our things, and then they went and did all their Millennium editions and all the other latest books. They're all completely corrupted as far as that goes. So Pidgeon's a lying scribe. He absolutely is.
Sarah says you're impartial, Jason.
I might be. Okay.
She says she's messing with you.
I might be impartial. I am furious with the lying scribes of the people out there putting scriptures out that cause confusion amongst the people, and that's why I love Yah Scriptures. Okay, yeah, it has all the books. Okay, let's continue on. 26. And concerning the dead, that they rise, have you not read in the book of Moshe at the bush how Elohim spoke to him, saying, I am the Elohim of Abram, and the Elohim of Yitzchak, and the Elohim of Yaakov. He is not the Elohim of the dead, but Elohim of the living. You then go greatly astray. There's a lot to be said here. There's a lot to pick up. Guys, our Elohim is this course of life that we are in. From everything I can read in all the scriptures, this is a test. We have been put here to walk these lands and be tested. And it's all a test of what? Loyalty. Loyalty 100%. And people are like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Let me explain this. You are either going to be loyal to the entity that created us and do what he says that we should be doing, or you're going to be disloyal. Disloyalty to Yahuwah makes you loyalty to Hasatan. If you're loyal to Hasatan, he's going to give you the best life now. He's going to give you blessings in this world that the hands of the devil can absolutely give to those who are his. And those who are Elohim's, we have excitement, right? We are testing, we are running through these lands. It doesn't matter how bad it gets for us in these lands. There is eternity. And this is what I tell all my brothers who I write to in chains, who are going to be executed. They're going to stick a needle in their arm and they are going to murder these people. That these days, years, months, all these seasons that you have been in this place, and all these guys on death row in the United States of America are being held unbiblically. They are being held against the laws of our Creator. Had these guys been judged properly according to the Torah, most of them would already be long dead. They would be taken outside the city gates, and the rocks would be picked up, and we would kill them at the behest of multiple people establishing a situation. That's how it is. And so what I explain to these guys, and I'm gonna beg all of you guys to hear me out on this, is that eternity is going to make our life right now seem like a breath of vapor. It's going to be like when we can think about our kids, when we were kids back in the day, and it's just a fleeting memory of something way back in the day. We can barely remember it. Give us 200-300 years after our cycle of life here in this testing ground, and our tour, it's going to look like something way different. Time will not be like what it is. And the greatest thing that we can do right now is to establish our testing of the testing grounds that we have and come out as loyal. If we are loyal, then our Creator will be loyal to us, just like Scriptures says. Continue on.
Hold on before you go. So the judge, I already answered, but I don't think he saw it. Says, where did you, Jason, find the information about Noah marrying a hybrid woman? It was in the book of Abraham.
Yeah, so the book of Abraham. So
And I
Right
responded
in
with it.
Abraham chapter 12.
okay.
Chapter 12. And then the daughter of Abraham said that the book of Abraham was from the Church of Latter-day Saints. That's a different book.
Yeah, that's
Completely different.
that's not it. We've investigated that before, and people are like, there is
book of
the
Abraham.
Joseph Smith thing, but this is not it, right? This is a completely different writing, completely different stuff. We've definitely investigated all of this when we put it together and when we found it, and This was shown to us by a bunch of Torah keepers, very, very astute Torah keepers before that are not Mormons. And so that is definitely not Joseph Smith's satanic, demonic, Mormon, satanic crap that they would run. Okay. Anything else?
That was it.
Okay, let's continue on. Anyone know where we're at?
I think.
Okay, 28. And one of the scribes coming near, hearing them reasoning together, knowing that he had answered them well, asked him, which is the first command of all? And Yahushua answered him, the first of all the commands is, Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah our Elohim, Yahuwah is one. Now, before we go any further on this, guys, this is not saying this is the only command. The Christians walk away, and the Christians will say, well, there's only two commands, and the first command is that we love God with all our heart, mind, and soul. And then they will say the laws of our Creator on the cross, at which point you know they do not love our Creator with their heart, mind, and soul. Why would they hate what our Creator has said to do if they truly love Him with all our heart, mind, and soul? Now, Messiah is Trinity breaking here, right? What we're repeating right here is Deuteronomy 6, which is the greatest of all the commands, because this is the command that tells us we have to absolutely have 100% loyalty and dedication to our Creator. He also establishes that Yahuwah is one. Now imagine this. Messiah just quotes this scriptures. If Messiah was two, this little Trinity crap that they try to present to everybody was real, then our Messiah just lied. Our Creator is very deceptive, and when our Creator says He is one, He's lying to us, right? Can you imagine that? Imagine the individual that has sustained us with rules and regulations about honesty and lying, and he's sitting here lying to us, right? That's why we know it's the truth. He's not two. Yahuwah, it doesn't say Yahuwah is two. Yahuwah is one. Now, this is part of the loyalty. How do we get loyal with our Creator? Well, we shall love Yahuwah, our Elohim, with all of our heart, with all of our being, with all of our mind, and with all of our strength. This is the first command. Very, very, very important that we know that this is the greatest of all the commandments. Guys, it isn't the greatest of all commandments isn't to not drink the blood. The greatest of the commandments is to realize that our Creator has given us a set of guidelines and understanding, and that every single thing that He says is doctrine for us, right? You will find out if you love your Creator by putting away your unclean bacon bits, by putting away the stuff that you love that our Creator hates. That's how we show our loyalty to our Creator. And the second of the greatest of the commandments is this: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other there's no other command greater than these. This is where the Christians will take this and they run off in their little satanic dances and go, woohoo, right? This is it. Oh, we only have two commands. When I love my neighbor as myself, I've completed the Torah, right? That's what they will say. And they will look at you, and it's all sincereness in their eyes. Guys, will you please go comfort the dog? Okay, continuing on. 32. And the scribe said to him, well said, teacher. You have spoken the truth, for there is one Elohim, and there is no other besides Him. So this guy either lied to the Son of the Most High, because if the Most High and His Son are the same ones, then this entire chapter makes no sense whatsoever. 33. What are we supposed to do with our Elohim? We're to love Him with all the heart, with all the understanding, and with all the being, and with all the strength, and to love one's neighbor as oneself is more than all the burnt offerings and slaughter offerings. What does this mean? What is this guy even saying? Well, this is what we're saying, that if we loved our Creator with all our heart, with all our mind, with all our soul, then it's going to pain us to disobey His commands. It's going to leave us with a stain and a confusion and a darkness when we are willing to go against the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. So if we have this kind of dedication, this kind of loyalty to our Creator, that we do everything in the eyes of our Creator, then it's way better than the burnt offerings and slaughter offerings, right? There's only burnt offerings and slaughter offerings because we couldn't be obedient as a people. And our Creator would not hang out with a group of people who were in that way, shape, and form. Okay, continue on. And when Yahushua saw that he answered wisely, he said to him, you are not far from the reign of Elohim. And after that, No one dared to question him. And Yahushua responding said, while teaching in the Mikdash, how is it that the scribes say that Hamashiach is the bin of David, the son of David? David himself said by the Ruach HaKodesh, Yahuwah said to Adonai, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. David calls himself Adonai. In what way then is he the bin? And the large crowd heard him gladly. Okay, anyone want to take a stab at this? Eli? Were you listening?
Not really.
No. Anyone take a stab? Cade?
I don't understand it.
You don't understand it? Anyone else? Jade? Since three of you guys.
I was listening.
Okay, thank you. One of the three are listening. Okay, hit it. What does it say?
So he's saying that David calls himself Adonai, which is like master. It's not actually
Yeah.
like Lord. So it's basically like kind of like a translation type thing. But it's the way he's using Adonai. He's calling him master. But he never said he was the son. But he's saying he is a son of Elohim, but he's not the son of Elohim.
Yeah. Pay attention to that. Okay, 38. And in his teaching, he was saying to them, beware the scribes who like to walk around in long rows and greetings in the marketplaces, and the best seats in the congregations and the best places of feasts, who are devouring widows' houses, and for a show make long prayers. These shall receive greater judgment. And sitting opposite the treasury, he saw how the people put copper in the treasury, and many rich ones put in much. And a poor widow came and threw in 2 small coins, which amount to a quarter. And calling near his talmidim, he said to them, surely, I say to you that this poor widow has put in more than all those putting into the treasury. For they all put in out of their excess, but she, out of her poverty, put in all that she had, her entire livelihood. So this is a huge thing, right? This is absolutely talking about what are we giving back to our Creator. And this woman, this old gal, was putting in every last cent that she had, whereas everybody was putting in the stuff that they had in excess. It didn't really matter to them. Their lives wouldn't change, their food wouldn't change, their house wouldn't change, but those who give freely understand the promises that our Creator will take care of them. And that's one thing that I could tell you, is that our Creator absolutely comes out of the woodwork and saves people. I've seen it over and over and over. I've seen these little widows. I've seen these people just like this throughout life, that they are the smallest of the group, but they come out at the best because of their hearts and because of their souls. And so as people of our Creator, we need to be those people. We need to do all of this and stay away from the world, right? You guys are in here talking about Easter. Easter's absolutely a pagan day. It's a blood sacrificing day. Back in the day, they would sacrifice little children on the altars, and they would dip something in the blood, and it was a fertility rites. Like, the people would get pregnant on that day. The people that were pregnant from the year before, they would slaughter their children on the altar, and that was Istar. That was the queen of evil entities. And so, guys, we have a Passover, and the Passover is coming up. We have all of these appointed times, and we don't need to look like the world, taste like the world, smell like the world, right? These people out there with their little idiotic dancing bunnies and chocolate eggs, all we're doing is being part of a fertility rite. And it doesn't matter if you're ignorant. It doesn't matter if you're just some Christian that's going to church, letting your kids Easter egg hunt on the church. You're all doing the will of Satan, and Satan is laughing and glamoring, and he's taking all these people, and people think it's a religious time. Everybody's celebrating the birth of our Messiah, when our Messiah was more than likely born on 9/11. There's more evidence pointing him to a September birth than at any time of birth like this. And so it is one of these things that it's important that we are understanding where things are at. And I guess that's it. Much love to everybody out there. Thank you guys to everybody who's been a part of this. Sunrise service, no, none of that. It's all satanic, all mumbly jumbly. Okay, well, with that, Jade, will you please bless our brothers and sisters?
Yahuwah barak you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. Yahuwah lift up his face upon you and give you peace.
All right, folks. Remember, we got 9 pit bulls. We try to keep them real quiet, but they do really good. So they get a little wild now.
Walking steady on this road you made. Every step guided by your way. Rising higher than before, lifting praise from deep in my core. Lifting praise, Yahuwah, your presence sets me free. Dancing wild 'cause you're all I need. My heart alive with pure delight as I move within your light. Dancing, praising, celebrating. Your ways are true and I'm not waiting to lift my hands to you. In the morning when I rise to pray, in the evening as I end each day, every word you speak becomes my song, teaching me where I belong. Rising higher than before, your truth is what I'm living for. Living for Yahuwah, your presence sets me free. Dancing wild 'cause you're all I need. My heart alive with pure delight as I move within your light. Dancing, praising, celebrating. Your ways are true and I'm not waiting to lift my hands to you. I'm alive, your love surrounds me. Your love surrounds me. I'm alive, your truth is found me. Your truth is found every day, every way, leading me, setting me found every day, every way, leading me, setting me. Yahuwah, your presence sets me free. Dancing wild 'cause you're all I need. My heart alive with pure delight as I move within your light. Dancing, praising, celebrating. Your ways are true and I'm not waiting to lift my hands to you. To lift my hands to you. Forever lifting praise to you.
All right, beautiful family. We love you all. We thank you. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine on you. May the Torah be a part of everything in your life. And may you guys be blessed that we can all